Now, Rotary Fest, that's a bittersweet pill for me. I always liked the Rotary Fest. In fact, when I was a young kid, I remember when Rotary Fest was near the Memorial Gardens. It was on the street, on Bruce Street, on the brick cobblestone road there, and they used to have a trailer there. And I saw a lot of good bands there, and it influenced me as a kid. I was like, this is awesome. That's what I would love to do that. People were just crammed around these, and what they weren't stages, they were transport beds, and just they were just in love with music, live music, and watching these local bands. I mean, local bands doing cover songs with the odd original, and the streets were full. Those are great times. And then Rotary Fest got kind of, what's the word? Kind of snooty, I'm going to say. And I don't want to offend anybody, but snooty is the way I felt trying to get involved in this Rotary Fest band thing. When they when they moved the Rotary Fest over to the Bay Street area near the library, it became a real political issue to try and get into this Rotary Fest thing. And it was getting to the point, I used to do write-ups on all the time, that it seemed like the same bands were playing every year, and they were falling into that same thing that the bars were falling into, to book the same 4 bands over and over and over. And I was on a tangent to try and change that, to like spread the variety out. And even though I'm not a metal musician, I'll be honest, the metal musicians got left out in the cold. The Rotary Fest didn't want anything. The Rotary Fest was afraid of these bands, and it's sad because, I mean, it's music. It doesn't matter if it's the image of it scares you. It's music, and there is a market for that. But typical Sault Ste. Marie fashion, they basically, ooh, we don't want that metal thing. Ooh, we don't want that. Too scary. Don't want our young kids to listen to that. Meanwhile, the young kids are already listening to it. We all did. When I was young, we listened to it. So it's sad. They were left out in the cold. I think Rotary Fest could have provided, a slot for at least 2 bands. Like, come on, let's be fair about this. And they can be metal bands doing covers. Obviously, the language, there's some of the music, you have to tame the language, but you can make that. That's up to the metal bands to behave there. Pick songs where you don't have to have the swearing, because you have a general audience. Remember the term general audience. That means kids, everything. I mean, they don't want to hear the swearing. I know the music calls for it a lot of times, but you don't have to have it. If you want to make advances and move up and get into these the public arena with other bands, you got to play by some rules. But I really think the metal bands should have a spot, at least on both stages. Now the Lop Lops, I'm calling it the Lop Lop stage, but I think it's basically, the Tube Division. There's a bunch of sponsors for it. Now, I've played on that stage a few times. They have a good thing there because they promote original material, which is fantastic. Before anybody cuts that down, think about that. You can get local bands writing their own stuff. You record it in your basement like I do. Make a CD. And this stage will allow you to play. And that's a good thing. It's just a good thing, and they provide really good sound. There's good sound companies, well organized. It's always been well organized. It favors a certain style, which is the same poison that kind of happens on the main stage, and I wish I would get out of that. It's like, a band is a band, different style. If you're just going to favor that one style, say so, but don't try and sneak other bands in there and try and iron out the slight differences between styles, because you know what, it's just not working. it pisses people off. It does. It just pisses people off. It's like, you're going to book one style of band, you know, then say it. If you're going to mix it up, then say it, you know. But, oh my God, I get so tired of that. You go to the Rotary Fest main stage, and it's like, we got to mix it country. Then we got jazz and that. The one, you know, the one good thing about the main stage Rotary Fest is they do dedicate the jazz section, you know, which is great. I love jazz, so. And it's great. It's too bad that they kind of tuck it away at the beginning of, you know, the event, and it's like, you know, we'll just put this jazz over here. I'm assuming that's what they do, but at least they get in there. But the metal musicians, come on now. There's metal music, and it's metal and heavier rock, and I mean, it's selling records, it's selling recordings, so why aren't we at least giving some bands a shot? But, you know, that's been my beef for years with Rotary Fest. Lop Lop's stage, or the second stage, they call it the second stage, they have catered to some of those bands like Gates of Winter, which is great. They've catered to my band, Wishbone, even though I got stuck playing to cars and traffic every time I played that thing. We're the first band, and there's no audience because the cars are still going by, you know. It's like, so that was kind of sad. But really, I think, you know, we have a couple of good sound companies in town. Why not just, you know, spread out a couple of stages more? You got room for 2 more stages. You know, the sound doesn't affect the others if you spread it out. And I said this on my forum. It says, why don't the metal guys have their own Rotary Fest stage? It's got to be some sound company in here that will take the plunge. Excuse me. It's all done through sponsorship. So you metal guys, get out there and find sponsors. Put your own stage up. There's no excuse. You can't sit there and whine that these other two are snuffing you. I mean, there's blame everywhere, you know. So you got to get out there and pull some strings. But you have to behave too. Otherwise, they're going to take it away from you. It's, you know, it's a give and take. So, but anyways, back to the negative side of the music thing. There are bands, and there are egos, and there are the dark evil forces in our city that continue to bring, you know, good people down and good bands down. I'll never understand that, but I am very verbal in defending that, and I will always defend that and the music scene. The reason why I haven't been so much in the forefront anymore on my forum is it does wear you down after a while. I also have other things to do, like my recording and getting my music across, and playing with other bands and doing fill-ins, and I do have a life now, you know, that's pretty intense with a lot of things in it going on. And the good that I always felt for the music scene for, you know, almost, you know, 2 decades, and how I tried to promote it, actually took pieces out of me, we'll say. You know, it did suck the life out of you for a while, because it was like you were just beating a dead horse. It just, you know, people just didn't care anymore. They didn't want to save it. It's like, let it die. And for me, I still try and pump it up a little bit, but it just doesn't seem that the local musicians want to save it. I don't understand that. There are some, but like I say, they're hiding. They're afraid to come out and voice their opinions. Me, I'm not. But I mean, I always have repercussions every time I say something. Anyways, I always piss somebody off. But I guess if you're pissing people off, you're at least being heard, and I guess that's a good thing. Is what I say positive? Probably not. I thought at one time it used to, but probably not. 'Cause, a lot of people just block you out after a while. It's like, oh, he's rambling again. But some people pick up on it, and hopefully, someone will get smart enough, smarter than myself and the Rob Figures and these people that organize these events in town. Hopefully, there's somebody smarter than us that will raise the local music scene from what is looking to be a bleak situation. You know what? It's pretty sad when you can't get your audience into the bar. You get some good bands playing to tables and chairs. We can't even get good concerts here. That always puzzled me. We used to have them when I was a kid. We don't have them now. Yet you can go 10 minutes across the border into a city of, Sioux, Michigan is what? I'm guessing. I'm not offending anybody, but it's 20,000 people, 15 to 20,000 people, and it's spread all over there. And they have great concerts. When you come to our city, we have clone bands. We don't get the real thing. We get clone bands. What's wrong with that? I'm paying $10, $15 to see a clone band? There's something wrong there. Only in our city. Only in Sault Ste. Marie. And then we don't have a rock station to promote rock music. We don't have any good stations. We don't even have a TV station. Like, that's pathetic. We got, 75, 80,000 people here. We don't have anything, to help promote music. Sure, we have a country radio station, but it's not a great station. Sorry, it's not. You know what else I hate? This is a bit off subject, but I hate radio stations that tape. They have live for 8 hours, and then the rest of it's all tape. Are we that cheap? Like, come on, get a DJ through the night. Remember the days when you heard a DJ all night? That's when you heard good things. These DJs would grab something off the shelf. It's not a programmed pile of crap. It's like horrible now. Horrible, horrible. And then in the middle of the night, I remember it was the station across the river. It was a 101. The tape machine would start skipping or going off track, and you'd hear double things playing all the time, and there was no one there to shut it off. So we'd do that for hours. It was hilarious. What a waste. So, anyways, how do we fix this local music thing? I don't know. Like I say, I gave up trying to get the interest in it years ago.